Welcome, everybody, to Comedy on Tap. My name is Mark Bonto, your host for this evening, and we have another great, funny show for you today. Today's guest hails from actually Shelby Township, Michigan. He's a very funny guy. He's done a lot of my venues, and he's been in the comedy circuit for a while. We'll talk to him about that, but I just love this guy. Everybody loves this guy. So we'll get into that as well. Welcome him, Mr. Billy Reno. Billy, welcome to Comedy on Tap.
Thanks, Mark. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
Now, you've been around a while.
3 years.
3 years comedy.
Well, 45 if you're talking about my life. But no, 3 years in comedy.
Right. Okay, so tell me a little bit about comedy. You like comedy. You're a funny guy. You've done my show many times.
Yep.
You got one coming up
Always
this
have a good time.
Don't forget Friday.
Yeah. No, no, I won't. Yeah.
By popular demand, I had to book Billy for this Friday because, and we'll get into this other stuff as far as you started your own venues as well.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that. So tell me a little bit about your comedy. So I know you. Tell the viewers a little bit about you. You started comedy 3 years ago. How did you get started?
Well, I've always wanted to do comedy. Mm-hmm. I've watched stand-up comics ever since I was a kid, and I've always wanted to do comedy. In my 20s, I almost did it. My brother and I went to Connections out in Lansing. Yeah. It's now closed down, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And we watched a comic. Went and saw a show, and I had no idea how to write comedy then. I had no idea how to write a joke. I was scared. Absolutely scared out of my mind to even step on stage, so I didn't do it. Right. And then I was a general manager of a restaurant. This is 15 years later when I was probably when I was 42. And my manager said, I said something smart-assy to my manager, and she said, a bunch of us were talking that you really missed your call and you should have been a comedian. And then I kind of thought about it, and I was like, you know what, I haven't missed anything. I can still do this.
Right.
So I took the class at Mark Ridley's with Bill Bouchard. Right. Did my first open mic, got my first laugh, and I was hooked.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely hooked.
Just got into the blood, and boom, you did it. So that was the time you experienced stand up was when you did the class and that, or you hadn't done it before that?
No, I haven't. I'd say, I think all of us that are comedians have always done stand up. We just do it for our friends.
Right.
Hanging out, cracking jokes. It was the first time I did it on a stage in front of a bunch of strangers, trying to make them laugh. And my very first time I told my first joke was at Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase. But for our graduation ceremony for the class, I wanted to get a couple under my belt.
Right.
And I told my first joke, I got a couple laughs, and then I completely froze and I just stood there for 30 seconds. Yeah. Because I forgot what my next joke was.
That happens to the best of us.
It happened to me last Tuesday at my own show.
Really?
Actually. Oh, yes. First time it's happened since then.
What do you do when we all have our own? What do you do when you freeze? What do you do? I mean, do you try to think of your next one? Do you just ad-lib? Do you fill in?
Curl up into the fetal position and just start sucking my thumb.
Billy forgot his joke. I can tell by the thumb sucking.
Usually, I try to make some joke, and then I go. I try to think of any joke, and that usually gets me off. Because as you know, your jokes are structured. Yeah. I try to have one lead to the next, and sometimes I'm just think of something. Think of a joke. Any one of your jokes.
I did that early on in my career. Early on, and froze. This is when I started, and the only thing I could think of was this horribly dirty joke. And it was not for the venue I was playing. It was just unbelievably bad. I'll tell you off the air, although you can say whatever you want here. But it was the only thing I could think of. Yeah. And sometimes that's all you can do.
Did you get a laugh from it?
I got nothing.
You got nothing.
It was horrible. It was as bad as the joke was dirty.
Yeah. Yeah, what are you going to do, though?
What are you going to do?
Yeah, luckily I was emceeing, so I just froze. And this last time, Tuesday.
I want to get to that later on. I try to chronologically do this. I never end up doing it, though. We always talk about, but I definitely want to get to that because. But why does everybody I talked to you a little bit about this last night. Why does everybody in the business like Billy Reno? You've done my show many times.
You're asking the wrong guy. I don't like me, so I don't know why anybody else would like me.
You're very funny. Tell us a little bit about your comedy. What type of comedy would you say that you have?
I hate getting asked that question because I really don't know.
Right. Well, what do you talk about?
It's not really observation. It's not observational comedy. It's just I just tell stupid jokes. I'm a likable smartass.
Okay.
is what I would say. I actually took a class. It's kind of a funny story. I took a class, the Comedy Dojo, with Chili Chalice. I don't know if you know who he is.
Yep.
He was a writer for The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. So he's got some major credits to his name. And the first time I took his class was the first day at work where I had my first employee review. I was working at Trader Joe's, and I had my first employee review. Then that night I went and I took his class for the first time. I get up on stage, I go through my bits, and he says to me, you come off as a very likable smartass on stage. And I said, that's funny, because I just had my first review at work, and they agree with half of that statement. They agree with the smartass part, but not the likable.
Yeah, I got the smartass stuff down all the way around.
Yeah.
Just the likable part.
Yeah, it's not so much.
But in the comedy arena, though, everybody talks well of you, and as I can see, you're very likable. And I found that the people in this business who go far, who reach the places, are those people that everybody likes. So you're on the right track, smartass.
Yeah. Hopefully. I mean, I try to treat people the way I want them to treat me. Right. That's all.
Well, when I was booking this one coming up Friday, you were one of the names thrown out right away by a couple people, and it's like get these. And by the way, I think I got everybody who agreed to do that show was the first ask. A lot of times, as you know now that you're booking your own shows, that you ask people, and sometimes they don't. You get hit and miss, but we got 100%. I love watching your comedy.
Thank you. I love you watching.
What do you What do you do to for your ideas? How do they come up?
A lot of it's just a smart-ass thought that I get in my head. That's all it is.
And you write it down?
Yeah, the thing that I need to get better at and that I still struggle with is expanding on jokes.
Okay, yeah.
I've been told I have a couple of jokes. A couple of headliners told me that's a great joke. One of them said that's a Tonight Show worthy joke. He goes, you need to expand on it because you can go in so many different directions. And I'm just like, I can't.
And I find that you've got to do that with a good joke. You just can't let it. One-liners are one-liners, and that's okay, and that's great. But a lot of times you're right. You have to do a follow-up and a follow-up to a follow-up and expand.
Yeah.
But you do have that stuff, and I notice you.
I'm getting better at it.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at it.
You're getting better at crowd work too.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Working your rooms kind of helps.
We won't get into that. But.
Yeah, but it's it's fun. It's funny at my last show too. That I had another guy ask me after the show if we enjoy it when audience members, and I said no. No, there's not one comedian that likes that. And he always took it as that they did because it's so playful. I'm like, a lot of them are very playful and telling you to shut up.
Right.
But that we don't,
You're right. You're like me. We don't. I mean, we'd prefer to do our thing and then get the heck off stage.
Well, it's a dance comedy. It's all rhythm and timing. You get into a cadence,
right?
In your jokes, and when someone shouts out, it just throws you off your. Because I don't know about other comics, but I'm thinking like 3 jokes ahead. While I'm telling a joke, I'm thinking of the next one.
Sure.
The next one's going through my head, and I'm thinking of the one that's going to come up after that. And then if somebody's talking over there, I can hear everything they're saying. Right. And it all just gets jumbled together, and it just throws you off your timing a bit.
Yeah.
So
and they don't get that.
No. I honestly think it's just people think that they're just adding to the show or being part of the show. And then there's just some people who think it's just about them.
Yeah.
Those are the people I want to wrap themselves around a tree on the way home. The other ones, I can forgive.
I see not so much the smartass, but I see the frustration a lot of times, coming out in you. It's like, just be quiet, because I'm not good with crowd work. I've been doing this 37, 38 years, and I still prefer to just tell them to shut up, let me do my thing. It's tough to be funny off of that. Do you do anything to prepare yourself before a show?
Yeah, I have a routine and a ritual that I do. Basically, I just got to go off by myself, and I just pace back and forth. Talking, and it looks like I'm just talking to myself.
Right.
So I'm sure people are either like, if that's not one of the comedians, that's just a lunatic over in the corner who's getting ready to shoot the place up. But I just pace, and I just constantly have to go through. And it's funny, even though I've been doing this routine now, this set routine for at least 7 months, 8 months, adding a couple of new jokes in here and there. But it's still funny if I don't do that set routine, I'm just not as sharp when I go up there.
Right.
I don't know why. Because I'm trying to get away from it because I really feel, you should just be able to walk in anywhere, go up and do your do your set.
Right. But you've got to kind of go over it beforehand.
Yeah, I think it's more of a psychological thing than going over it for me.
Yeah.
I used to have to go to the bathroom like 4 times, 4 or 5 times. My stomach was so tied in knots before shows. I was so nervous and such a nervous wreck. But that's kind of gone away now too.
The more you do it, the more you.
Yeah, more comfortable. I'm always still a little nervous until I hit the stage, and then I'm fine.
Yeah.
And then when nobody's laughing, then I get nervous again.
But you tend to be pretty consistent when it comes to. I don't think you've ever. I mean, I've never seen you not get Well, yeah.
Thank you, because I'm doing your room Friday. So let's not jinx it.
That's a good room. Let's not jinx it. You did mention that though about the rooms. As far as you've had the luck of having some hecklers at more than a couple of my rooms. Does that happen a lot with you, or? No,
I had once at Joey's Comedy Club. I had one lady as I was doing. I did this one joke about having a celebrity list. If your spouse has a celebrity list where they can hook up with a celebrity, they get a free pass. And she yells out something like, "Wear cowboy boots." I don't know what it was. And I just kind of made a face to the audience like, what the hell? And the audience laughed. But everyone said I did a good job of handling it. I just basically ignored her. And then which is what I normally do.
Right.
I try to just ignore them and just keep going into my jokes. Because I like to hope that if they realize that this guy's not paying any attention to me, I should just shut up and pay attention.
What do you do? How do you, when you come up with your jokes, what do you do? How do you write them down? Do you have ideas? What happens?
Yeah, I basically, again, the writing aspect of it is where I struggle the most probably, just because I hate the physical act of writing.
Yeah.
I'm a horrible speller, I got horrible grammar, and I got horrible penmanship.
Right.
So I just hate writing. I've always had ever since I was a kid. I'll write down the topic of it, and then I just kind of sit there and keep going in my head over ideas and jokes. And every now and then I do write it out, but very rarely do I ever write everything out. Mm-hmm. I need to get better at doing that and get better at like word associations or just, I took a writing class with Chili also. And it's one of the things like write down the topic, then everything you know about the topic, because all that could be used in a joke. So
he said he's been very complimentary to me too. He said some really nice things that you're able, he said, I've got these great facial expressions and I should use them, but getting the compliment and then actually utilizing that is two different things, because it's like, oh, how do I apply this thing?
Right. Because like you probably, like me, like most comics, I don't like anything about this.
Right.
Anything, the way I sound, the way I look, the way I move, I don't like listening to my sets is just, it's pain, it's torture to me.
But that's what I like so much about you. I think that's why you're so likable, is because you're so down to earth. And yes, comedians say that, but you're just so down to earth, Billy. Everybody knows Billy.
Yeah. Everybody knows
Billy. Everybody knows Billy Reno.
Yeah.
Is Billy Reno your real name?
No.
No.
It's a stage name.
Is it really?
Yes.
See, I did know that.
I just thought it would sound better than my. It's easier to say. It's a cool sounding name, Billy Reno.
Sheklovsky?
Yeah.
Right. Well, we all have stage names. Were you funny growing up?
Yeah. Yeah, my dad always used humor for everything. And my brothers were all a bunch of smart asses.
Right.
And,
did you come from a big family?
4 brothers. Or 3 brothers, I'm sorry.
There's 4
of us. Yeah, 3 brothers.
I'm part of 4 brothers too. I do the same things what you just did. This is why everybody likes you, is because they can associate with you. Same thing. Where do you fall?
I'm in the middle.
You're in the middle.
Second youngest, third oldest.
Me too. Wait a minute. How'd that happen?
Yeah.
So they were funny. Are you the only comedian of the?
Well, I'm the only one pursuing it. I would say they're, my brothers are just as funny as I am.
Right.
And I don't. My older brother, I always thought, like, I would probably be a better stand-up comic than him, but he would be way better at improv than me. He's fantastic. Him and I will play off each other when we're hanging around. We go into these stupid, like, hillbilly accents, and whenever I say something, he says something that's, like, twice as funny as what I just said. And I can never, like, top him. He just keeps topping me. With
older brothers are like that.
Yeah.
Same thing, mine.
Yeah. Anything to keep your self-esteem down. They just keep pushing you down.
That's what they're for, Billy.
Yeah, right. But it makes you stronger.
It does.
Yeah,
it does. Gives you backbone.
All those wedgies.
Are you guys close in age?
Yeah, we're all about a year apart.
Okay.
A year apart about
Wow, you
each
and I have a
other.
lot of similarities. Brian Regan's the same way. He's a part of
It comes from family of eight.
yeah, and he's right in the middle. And
That sounds creepy that I know that.
Yeah,
I
it
know
is.
like they have posters of the guy up in my room, but I listened to Pandora Comedy and I heard one of his bits. He's talking about how he comes from a family of eight.
Yeah.
That's how I know that.
Yeah.
Just for the record.
8, right? Yeah.
Just for the record.
Not that.
Yeah.
Speaking of comedians, did you have any growing up?
Brian Regan was actually,
Me
yeah,
too.
Brian Regan, Bobby Collins. Mm-hmm. It's one of the first ones I remember seeing.
I've never heard that one here when I interview people or when I talk to people, but I mean, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Bobby Collins. I really liked Ellen DeGeneres as a comedian. I thought she was hilarious.
Very good stand-up.
Yep. And see, Brian Regan, definitely now I think the best comic working, and I think is going to go down as one of the greats is Bill Burr. The guy is just a genius.
You kind of have that. Again, you're not as brash and you're very likable on stage, but you kind of have that Bill Burr edge to you.
Yeah, maybe, I guess. I don't know. Other people can describe me better than I can. I hate describing myself because I just tell you, I suck. That's how I would describe myself. But, yeah, I mean, when I first started, it's funny, when I first started doing comedy, and I've talked to some other comics about this, and maybe if you can remember that far ago when you started, that when I first would do a joke, I would be like, I sounded like Bill Burr. Because that's kind of my influence. I sounded like Brian Regan going through that. And sometimes I do that when I think of a joke. I'm thinking like this would be a joke in the style of this comedian. Right. I find myself starting to do that kind of cadence that they do when they're telling jokes. I always tell myself, I got to stop doing that. Because you got to find your own voice and be yourself.
You do. That's a good point. That's a real good point.
Yeah,
that's a real good point. But it's okay to do that because they don't own that. I mean, it's okay to. I mean,
I guess it's okay in the fact that it's. I'm not like trying to steal their joke or their routine. It's more like a compliment, I guess you would say. And I'm not doing it intentionally. Obviously, I'm trying to do it on my own. But I just would think this is a joke that they would tell or something in that kind of like in their style. And yeah, I could picture them doing it, so it just gets stuck in my head to do it in that.
So what kind of style would you say that you have? I mean, you said that it's hard to describe what you say on stage, but if someone says, all right, Billy, we need a clean, your stuff is semi-clean.
Yeah, it's pretty, I only say the F word twice, and I don't have to say it. I've done shows where I haven't said it, and I got just as good a laughs, but sometimes I think the F word does make it a little funnier. It's just if you're doing the F word every other word, it loses the effect.
Right.
You got to just drop it in sparingly every now and then. In my opinion, and what do I know? I've only been doing this 3 years, but I try to be clean. I've gone back and forth because you got to be who you are, and sometimes in life I can be kind of raunchy.
You got to say your thing.
Yeah, but. Part of me, I like the clean comics. I find it. Comedy is challenging whether you're clean or dirty. To get a laugh, it's challenging. I find it a little more challenging to write cleaner than it is to write.
You've got one act though, one set, but you've changed it. You throw stuff in, so you've got really.
I've got about 20 minutes of material total. I basically do the same 10 or whatever, 7 to 10 wherever I go. If it's the first time I'm at the place, I'll do that, and then if I've been there a couple of times, then I just start trying to throw in new jokes.
Your new stuff though is great. So do you? How can I say this? So have you been doing it more, or the
new stuff? Yeah. I've been luckily the last few shows I've been on, I've been given some time to work in to do the old stuff and the new stuff. But yeah, I'm trying to. Especially when I first started, I had this fear. I'd go into places before a show, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to do all these new jokes. And then as the room starts filling up, or not filling up, as most open mics go, I start getting nervous, and I'm like, I'm like a boxer who doesn't know how to defend themselves. And once they get hit, they go back to same old what they know, and that's just leaving themselves open. I do the same thing. I go back to what I'm comfortable with, and I do my set. I think
a lot of us do that.
I got to tell myself I got to get over that fear. It's not about, especially at the stage that I'm at. It's not about getting laughs. It's about getting better.
Right.
I thought about this, like I should start asking to go first every time because you get better going first. It makes you stronger.
It certainly builds your character, that's for sure.
And I hope you forget that Friday when you make the lineup.
I made the lineup and you're like third.
Third, yeah, that's
out of 6. That's
okay.
And this kind of brings us into the next part of what I want to talk about, which is your shows. When you have your own show, when you're doing your show, and you get the comics and you have the venue, then you kind of gotta, since you're hosting and emceeing, you kind of gotta go first.
Yeah, and I found, especially the first time I did a show, it was tough because I'm trying to get better as being a comedian, and now I'm trying to figure out how to promote. And I'm trying to figure out how to be a promoter and a good comedian. And the first show, it was nerve-wracking. And I didn't do well at all when I went up there because I wasn't in the right mindset. I didn't do my routine because I was busy helping seat people, making sure everything was set up, And the very first show, I almost didn't have a speaker and a microphone for it.
Right.
So I was freaking out.
There's so many hats you have to wear when you put on your show. There's so many hats.
Yeah.
And the comedian hat is way down the line.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, it is.
It
is, and it was. I'm getting better at it now.
So tell us about this room, because I know about it. But tell us a little bit about.
The Hamlin Pub in Shelby Township on 22 Mile and Hayes. It's kind of the last Tuesday of the month. I got to figure out December. This month we did it the second to last Tuesday. I might do that again in December.
Okay.
I got to talk with the GM about it.
Okay.
But we were doing it on Sunday nights. I didn't want to compete with football, so I moved it to Tuesday nights.
Yeah.
And it's a great little room. It seats at its max, it could seat probably about 60 people, 65.
And you've had 2 shows there. How have your turnouts been?
Oh, I've had shows since last May. Actually.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, we did the first show like last March, April or May, somewhere in there we did the first show. And the first show was jam-packed. I had about 60 people. I had people standing against the back wall.
Oh, wow, good.
Then the summer came, and the show just kind of took a decline in attendance. Even the GM said that, a lot of his clientele, they have toys. And where we're at, we're not far from water. So the weekends, it was kind of tough. But we still kept getting people. And now the shows are starting to go back up. Okay. I probably had about maybe 30 at the last show, I would say.
So you've done a dozen?
Yeah, I would say 7 or 8 shows, yeah.
More than that.
We skipped the one in September. We didn't do a show in September because, was it September? I'm asking you like you know.
I should know because you told me this.
Yeah, I can't remember what month. It was
September.
Yeah, it was the month that I was in the hospital.
Right.
We skipped it because of that, and they had the room booked. They had a lot of events, and they needed the room, so so it kind of worked out.
So you took time off from comedy, a little break.
Yeah, not voluntarily, but yeah, I had to take. Yeah, I just went through some health issues, and.
But and the great part is you've kind of put part of that in as new stuff in your routine, and it's very funny.
Yeah, the sad part is I thought I would get a lot more material, but I brought and I don't know about you, but I have 17 different books with jokes written in them. I'm constantly buying a new book to write jokes in, and I just throw it on top of the other pile of books. So I brought all those with me because I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, so I brought all those with me. And I was like, I'm going to get a lot of writing. I didn't. I came up with 2 jokes while I was in the hospital. Well, I came up with more than that, but it was after I got out I thought of those jokes. While I was there, I came up with 2 jokes. And I just, for the first 4 or 5 days, I was hopped up on pain pills, so I was completely out of it.
Yeah. Well,
and
what can you expect?
Yeah. And
so is there another venue? There is...
well, there's Hamlin Pub, and then we're doing one in Oxford, Michigan at Sullivan's Public House.
Okay.
That's a monthly show as well. We didn't do one last month, but we're doing one in December. It'll be December 21st.
Okay.
We got a pretty strong lineup of comedians. I just got to double check them, see if one can make it, but...
Didn't get a call again. He gets calls for all my shows. I didn't get a call.
That's because I thought you just did at the beginning, I thought you just did your shows. I didn't, because I never see you out at any of the other shows.
Well, I've been doing this for 38 years, Billy. Yeah. And the first 25, I did that. Then the last 15, it's like, I kind of, I'm past that. I'm going to just stick around,
Right. But I'm going to have you out at my Hamlin show because you're from Shelby.
Yeah, I know about it.
Yeah.
I know, but so I'd love to. So time has just flown by. I was going to ask you all kinds of
Did
stuff.
we already go through 20 minutes?
We've gone for a
Holy
little
smokes.
past that. Let me ask you. Do you have any quick little stories or anything that you can think of off the top of your head, or no?
From from doing comedy,
Doing
like funny-
comedy, yeah, on stage or off, or other than my heckler rooms, which we touched on earlier.
You know, it was funny because I thought of one when I was leaving work today. I was like, oh, I forgot all about that one. That's a good story, and now I can't. Just like a joke, you got to write it down.
Of course.
Because I can't remember what happened. You know what? I hear some of the other comics talk about some of the stuff that's happened in some of the rooms they've done, and I'm like, man,
You've been lucky.
Yeah, I'm like, just like my life, I'm living a boring comedy experience. I don't
Can't
get any of that.
bad happen to me?
Yeah, like Kerry McCabe told me how he had to pin a guy down. There was a couch on the stage, and he had to pin the guy down on the couch because the guy came up on stage, and I was like, why doesn't that stuff happen? In a way, I'm kind of glad that stuff doesn't happen to me. But
I had Ricardo Winston do.
Yeah.
He's done my rooms, and he's actually been here on the show.
Yep, I had him do Hamlin once.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. Well, he was doing one of my rooms one time, and a girl. You talk about that with Carrie. A girl came up and attacked him on stage. I mean, not in a good way. I mean, she's like all over him, right on stage. She came right up and rubbing on him. And
See, why can't that happen to me?
even in real life, right?
Yeah, right. Even just at the gas station, that would be nice if that happened.
How can people get a hold of you? You're in front of a lot of people right now.
I got a Facebook page at Billy Reno, and then my Twitter.
Do you tweet a lot?
No, I don't tweet it. You know what? I got on there, and the first comment I put on there is, "Here's another social media outlet that I get to ignore." Because I'm trying to get better at the social media aspect. I got on Twitter and Instagram.
Right.
And to be honest with you, I'd probably even have to look at my phone to see what the handles are. I think one of them is Billy Reno 71. I think that's Instagram. I don't know.
The Instagram, the Snapchat, all these stuff.
Snapchat, I do not understand.
No.
I got on that and I don't understand
These
it at
kids
all.
know everything. I just
really
stick to the basics. Well, we're out of time, Billy. You don't have time for that.
Okay,
You don't know offhand.
So just look me up on Facebook.
Billy Reno. He's very funny. He's at my show, and like I said, you're a favorite. Everybody likes you.
Yeah.
I'll find out the reason, and I'll try to apply.
Yeah, let me know so I can do more of whatever it is that I'm doing.
Everybody who comes to Comedy and Tap gets a free copy of Flint Comics. It's a publication of Flint Comics. I write for it.
Oh, okay.
And that's why they get a free copy. So it's yours. To
Nice.
keep.
Thank you.
Absolutely free. You like that?
Yeah. Is this free for everybody?
It's free for
You're trying to make me feel like I'm getting something, getting this for free. Normally it's like,
darn it! You broke my code. Yes, everybody gets it for free. See, free. Anyway, Billy Reno, thanks so much for coming by. Very
Thanks for
funny
having me.
man. Look him up.
Appreciate
That's all the time we have for this week, folks. I'm Mark Bonta for Comedy on Tap. Everyone have a funny night. Good night, everybody.